general evaluation of the meeting. So Edgar, if you could jump into that position here and give a quick introduction for the remainder of the meeting.
Yeah, Dan, when the general evaluator is a new person, we don't have him do the whole general evaluator role, just evaluate the meeting at the end.
Oh, okay. All right. Very well. Okay. So then let's go right into the evaluation of our speech. So Glynis, if you could please provide your evaluation for Nagham's speech, I would welcome you to do that now.
Yes, I will. Just let me get the timer on the screen as well as Nagham, because I can't give an evaluation to her if I can't see her. 1 second here. Great, okay. Thank you, Nagham, for such a compelling story. I really enjoyed the intro with a quote, "Prove how weak you are by being harsh to others." And I've always thought it takes more effort to be nice to people. It's easy to be harsh and to be mean and to criticize, but it takes a lot of effort and a lot of strength to be nice or to be calm in a situation when you're provoked. And I think your speech gave us a story where you demonstrated that. I particularly like the fact that you personalize your speeches and you make them relatable and interesting. This particular one, you achieved your goal of the story by telling this story. And the story was moving because I could put myself in your place. I could see myself being yelled at. And I began to think about what I would actually do if I was there. And I could just see it. I even started to feel myself getting upset. So that is a good story when the person actually feels what's going on. And it was also intriguing because a good story to me is, I don't want to guess the ending. Always, when I'm watching a movie, I always guess the ending. And my husband said, "Why do you always do that? You know, you spoil it for everybody." But it took a while for me to see where you were going. And that kept me interesting because I'm like, okay, how is she going to fit that quote into this? And as the story went on, and I was like, and you got to the end. So it was just that whole thing in the end where you put it all together. I like the fact that your voice had the gestures because you're sitting and within our little cubes here, we can't really demonstrate a lot of gestures, but your voice demonstrated the feeling. And at different points, I actually thought you were remembering and kind of just a little bit of crack in your voice at one point. And I was feeling it too. And I just really appreciated how it all came together. And you make it really hard to pick a point for me to tell you to work on. But what I thought about as far as a challenge, because most of your speeches are interesting and relatable, as I said, and they just grab our attention anyway. Maybe your challenge should be to pick a really boring topic and present it so that we are very interested in it. As always, Nagham, great speech, and I look forward to your next.
Great. Thank you, Glynis, for your evaluation of Nagham's speech. I thought that was very well done, and I'm glad you were able to find something for her to try for on the next one. All right, now let's move right along here to our timing report from Sherry. If you could give us a quick rundown, that would be great.
Okay, Mr. Toastmaster, my timing report will start with Nagham's speech. Her speech was 6 minutes and 57 seconds. Then we'll move on to table topics. Steve's table topics was 1 minute 59 seconds. Shehu's was 2 minutes 27 seconds. Safa's was 2 minutes. Sorry, I had a hard time getting off of mute to tell you how much time you had left. Let's see. Edgar had 2 minutes, 1 second. Glynis's table topics was 1 minute, 27 seconds. Ross's table topics was 1 minute, 52 seconds. And Stacy was 1 minute, 59 seconds. And Glynis's evaluation was 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
All right. Thanks, Sherry. Thanks for the overview there. So now you all know and can be better prepared next time. Or, you know, just as prepared next time, I guess. All right. Now, Steve, you're next here. You can give us a quick overview or, well, give us your assessment of the Oz as well as provide your grammarian's assessment this evening.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Okay, so first we have Nagham's speech. Nagham, you had 3 uhs, 1 3 Xeroxes, and 2 false starts. So that's for a total of 9, which is excellent, considering that you just gave the speech. You know, yeah, you replaced someone. One thing I'll add on that is in your speech, you were shaking your head. I think it's the emotions were coming to you of that incident, and you're shaking your head. And most of the time, it's better not to do that, except like at a certain point where like you're saying no, then it goes with it. Next is the table topics. I did not count myself, except I did give myself credit for using the word of the day. Next is Glynis, and Glynis was all clean, 0 Oz. Next is Edgar. You had a total of 14. You had 6 evenly split, 6 uhs and 6 ums, 1 Xerox and 1 false start. And a Xerox is when you repeat the same word twice, and a false start is you start a sentence and then you start it over. That's good for the first time. Now, next is Safa. You had 2. Oh, no, next was Stacy. Stacy was all clean, and Stacy used the word of the day also. Now, I'm not sure you used the word of the day correctly because you said that was a vicissitude moment or something like that. I don't know if that's like using it as an adjective. I don't know if that's correct or not, but good effort on using that word. Next is Safa. You had 2 uhs and 5 ums for a total of 7. You also said the most wealthiest woman, and you would just say wealthiest. And next is Shehu. Shehu, you had 1 and 1 false start. And then just some pronunciations. You, on some 3-syllable words, you just make them 2 syllables. And I caught 2 of them. One was the word suicide.
I told you that over and over again.
Yeah.
I told you that over and over again. I'm from Africa, right?
Okay.
So.
Okay. So those
but
2
that's
words,
fine, though.
Yeah. Well, one was suicide. You left out the middle syllable. And the other one was necessary. You left out the 2nd syllable there.
Okay.
And then Ross, you used the word of the day very well there. Congratulations on that. You had 6 uhs and 1 for a total.
Steve, you're on mute.
Was my whole thing muted? I have to give it over again?
Not the whole thing.
When did it go mute? I don't even know how that happened. Oh, you know what
just
happened?
About 5 seconds ago.
I guess I accidentally hit the space bar. So I guess I back up to Ross then. Ross used the word of the day very well, and he had a total of 7 uhs. There were 6 uhs and 1 And Glynis' evaluation was almost totally clean, just 1 Xerox, and that was and. Mr. Toastmaster.
Right. Thank you, Steve. Very well done. So I think it's always a good assessment to see how we're doing with respect to our grammar and our ahs and ums. And I noticed personally, I had a job interview and I found that going through this exercise during Toastmasters meetings is very effective to try to limit that. So you sound a little bit more professional while you're having these quick speaking answers, I guess you could say. So something to be aware of. Now, so we're getting real close to the finish line here. Edgar, I think this was your first meeting, I think you had indicated. So I don't know if you wanted to give any sort of assessment on what you thought about the evening, if you liked it, didn't like it, or if there were aspects about it that you thought kind of stood out. So I don't know if you wanted to take a minute and just talk about that real quick.
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster leader. My first impression of the meeting was that it's a very diverse group of people, and I'm very excited to be here. I think that everybody did really well, better than I did, I felt. I'm trying to improve the way I communicate, and that's the reason I'm here. But overall, I felt that everybody gave really well prepared remarks and speeches. I really enjoyed the speech at the beginning by Nagham, and I felt that the table topics were a good way to promote people to speak on topics that they're not expecting. So I felt like it was a struggle for me, but I try to remain calm and stay on task and answer the question. Definitely, I don't know how I did it, but it's one of the things that just kind of happens, and then you're like, oh, my brain can actually do that. But I really enjoyed the meeting, and I will definitely be back. Thank you.
Glad to hear that, Edgar. So as a fellow engineer, I can relate to that. I think you said you were an engineer. So anyway. All right. So thank you everyone for heading out here, or logging in this evening for this meeting. A lot of great speech by Nagham here, great evaluation by Glynis, and some very interesting table topics, questions by Maha, and everyone's responses. Very well done here. So with that, I'll go ahead and wrap it up here. I don't know if Steve, you had any closing remarks, or
we just as Toastmaster, you just asked if there's any success stories.
Oh, okay. Does anyone have any specific success stories that he or she would like to share?
What exactly is a success story? Is it just about the meeting itself or general?
In general.
I think I gave a presentation today during work, and it was well received. I think I did a good job of preparing for it. I still think that it requires a lot of work for me to put something that is coherent, but I was able to talk for maybe 40 minutes, and I had the help of an outline, and I think that made a difference. I would like to get to a point where I don't have to work so hard to do that. So that's the reason why I look for help, and that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you, Edgar. Glad to hear that. And yeah, hopefully that'll get easier and easier as you do it more frequently.
I have something to share. So I have a family member that I deeply love. And whenever they ask for anything, I'm always there to help them out in anything that they want. And even when they hurt me, I'm always there to just step up and help them, no matter what pain they put me through. But the past few days, I have been standing up for what I believe in. So that friend or that family member, they basically accused me of something and I actually defended myself. And I feel like that this is one of the vicissitudes, first steps in my life, because I really value them. And I was raised to always just respect the elder, no matter what they put us through, even if it's unjust. And I pushed myself. I'm like, this is not how it is. I'm almost in my 30s and I need to just start to make changes in my life. And I feel like that's one of the few steps to actually have that vicissitude of life, I guess. I hope I used it correctly.
Fantastic.
Okay, just Dan, just a quick one. Next week is going to be the club election. At least we need 51% of the total paid members for the election. I'm just going to be sending out the list of people that volunteer to be elected for this year. And if you see any role that you are interested in, you can let me know. That means there's going to be a runner-up between you and the person that is contesting for that election. So I just want to put that out there. Next week, 24th, is going to be the election. So as a paid member, please find it the time to be available, because we need 51%, I believe, of the club member to be able to hold that election.
But Shehu, when you say make the time to be available, is it like a Zoom that we have to attend?
It's the same thing. It's just going to, if we don't have much people, if it's just the same people that I'm presenting, it's going to take like 5 to 10 minutes so we still have a regular meeting that day.
Yeah, it's just be the first portion of our meeting. We'll have the elections.
Yeah.
What's interesting is we used to, when we were in the office, we used to have a WebEx meeting just so we could get the quorum.
Yeah.
But now we're all able to tally and on Zoom. So that'll be interesting. It is 5:32, but one thing I just wanted to ask, Nagham, you are down for a speech next week. Did you still want to keep that?
Oh, I forgot. No, probably not.
Okay, so we do need a speaker for next week. We need a Toastmaster and a tabletop master. Mostly all the roles are open except for a general evaluator. So that's it.
I think Steve is going to be leading the election. So I guess if you want to be the Toastmaster, I don't know. Someone else can
Steve
do that.
Steve is the general evaluator. He is the only person that's signed up for a role next week. Okay.
Yeah, I could switch to. Oh, go ahead, Nor.
Okay. So I skipped out on my speech for this week, so I'll sign up for next week.
Okay. Thank you.
So Shehu and Steve, what if there's a possibility I may not be able to make next Monday's meeting? It's my mother-in-law's 89th birthday.
Wow.
So I'm not quite sure what we'll be doing. Is it possible for me to send in an a ballot like beforehand? Like if we know the list of people who are running?
The only problem there is, according to the rules, we've got to ask a quorum of people, are there any nominations from the floor?
Oh, okay.
And usually we don't have it, but that means that not possible to vote in advance.
Gotcha. Okay.
Can you do just 5 minutes?
Pardon me?
Can you join for just 5 minutes?
Like 5 minutes, just yes.
Can I join from my phone?
Oh yeah, you can join from your phone.
Yeah,
just
maybe you could teach me how to do that, and I can join from my phone.
Oh.
Or if
like
I'm here,
Ross did.
if I'm here, it won't be a
I think
problem,
you
but-
just had.
That's okay. We can talk offline.
You don't really.
I think he's.
Can someone remind me what the election is for, and does it apply for guests or is it just members?
It's oh, go ahead, Shayla. Yeah.
So this is like we have officers, right, for the club every year, and we do rotate this role for election, like president of the club, vice president. So for you to be able to participate, you have to be a paid member for this.
So I can come 5 minutes late next week then.
Oh,
not necessarily.
you can come on. You can come on time. Yeah.
Steve, I can sign up for a role for next week. With the exception, if I am late, if I sign up for Toastmaster, if I am late, then maybe I'll do general evaluator. But otherwise, if I'm on time, I'll do Toastmaster.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah. So
unless you need to do that for the election. Okay.
No. You're able to do that. And see, Steve will always assist if you need anything for the election. Like I said, it's just 5 minutes. And if we don't have other people challenging those roles, it should take like 5 minutes. Yes, no, yes. Okay, I don't want to keep this is 5:36. Mr. Toastmaster, this is your meeting.
All right. Well, I don't have